beautiful San Diego, California. Once again, it's time for Braves baseball. Last night, Atlanta's ship came in, a 3-0 final score. Great start for Atlanta on the first stop on our two-city Western road trip. We'll see what Bartolo Colon has in store for the homestanding Padres in Game 2 tonight. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe, welcome back to the ballpark. It's not often we talk about a player who won't be playing in the ball game during our opening comments, but today's a special day because Freddie Freeman, Joe, finally took batting practice. I'd love to get your thoughts on how Freddie looked in his first live swinging session in the cage.
Well, he may not be playing, but it is big news. And when you watched him swing today, you came away mighty impressed. The guy hasn't been in a batting cage hitting like this in over a month and closer to 6 weeks, and yet watching him, he was driving the ball like he always does in his batting practice sessions to left center and left field. He was putting the bat on the ball solidly, no injuries, no problems. Great to see.
That's how Freddie looked. The big question is, how did it feel? We asked him that after the session.
It felt pretty good. It's a good feeling. It's just a big relief for me. I swung a lot more than I did yesterday, and it held up, and it was actually getting better and better as I kept swinging more. And I was hitting line drives to left just like I wanted to do. I was able to control the bat, be able to drive with my top hand. So all in all, it was a great day.
So the plan for Freddie Freeman, another live BP session tomorrow. Then he'll go to Gwinnett, play Saturday, maybe 4 games, and he hopes to be back in the lineup as the Braves' third baseman when we visit the Nationals in Washington. So that's a little look ahead. The present is Bartolo Colon. He's got the ball for the Braves, Joe, and it's been a while since he's been in rotation.
It has been a while since he's been out there, but maybe the rest and layoff did him some good because you can see by these numbers things were not good for Colon. He had given up 8 runs or more in back-to-back starts before he went on the disabled list. So hopefully tonight the Padres are just the tonic because he pitched his best game of the year against San Diego in Atlanta back in April.
We'd love a repeat performance from Bartolo Colon against the Padres, who faces them for the second time this year. It's Game 2. Bravos won 3-0 last night. We'll see if they can record back-to-back wins out west with lineups and first pitch coming right up.
Baseball on Fox Sports Southeast is presented by Chevrolet.
Partly cloudy skies above Petco Park in San Diego. A beautiful breezy day in Southern California. Current temperature 64 degrees. Winds out of the south-southwest at 7 miles per hour. All in all, a delightful weather day to play, broadcast, and watch a game between the Braves and San Diego Padres here out west. That's Luis Perdomo. He's got the ball for San Diego in game 2. He's been a very, very tough customer for the rest of the National League lately.
You know what? He's coming on. He's 24 years old, 6'2", 195 out of the Dominican Republic. He's in his second year. His last 3 home starts, excellent. 2-0 with a 1.37 ERA, much like Julius Chassin. He's been pitching great baseball here at Petco Park, just a 164 average against him. He's never faced the Braves before. Throws hard, has a curveball and an occasional split finger pitch, and gets a ton of ground ball outs. 65% of his outs are by ground ball outs, and he's had 12 double plays turned behind him, so must have a real good sinker on that hard fastball.
Well, we'll see how that works out for this Braves lineup, is swinging the bats very well from top to bottom. The Braves this month averaging over 5 runs a game. Ender Inciarte leads off the Toyota starting 9 with 100 hits. The first Brave since Freddie Freeman with 100 hits or more before the All-Star break. Freddie did that back in 2014. Phillips, Markakis, Kemp, Adams, Flowers, Swanson, Camargo 8th, and Bartolo Colon will pitch and hit 9th. Braves start play tonight at 37 and 39, 2 games under 500. They began play 8.5 games behind the Nationals, who are hosting the Chicago Cubs. And you know that man would love a nice lead in the first inning. Bartolo Colon will pitch in the bottom of the first inning as a Brave starter for the first time since the 5th of June. So Inciarte, Phillips, and Nick Markakis are coming up. If there has been a blemish for Perdomo's good work, Joe, it's been the early innings, especially the first, we understand.
Yeah, 12 runs allowed in his 13 starts in the first inning.
So Perdomo turns it loose and delivers a quick strike, and we're underway. Inciarte 1 for 3 last night. Pops this one up. Eric Ibar at short, drifts out. He says he's got it. Now he gives way. And the catch made by Perella. And there's the first out. San Diego's defense caused him some problems last night. The Braves got an 8th inning run on an error by their shortstop, Asuaje. And San Diego has committed 53 errors so far in 2017. In our first look at Austin Hedges behind the plate in the series. So Brandon Phillips is up. Brandon celebrating his birthday today, 33 years young. And batting a cool 300. For Atlanta, he was 1 for 4 last night. There's the first ground ball of the game. Asuaje scoops and fires quickly, 2 out. So 2 outs on 3 pitches for Perdomo. That brings up Nick Markakis.
If Perdomo has a little chink in the armor, it's his command. He can pitch behind in the count a lot. He's given up more hits than innings pitched. That's not all that unusual, but 28 walks, including his last start. He went 6 innings of 2-hit shutout ball against Detroit and walked 5.
So let's see if the Braves can figure out a way to let him pitch himself into trouble. Nick Markakis, 2 more hits last night. His 17th multi-hit game for the Braves. And just like that, it's 0-2. That's popped out of play back toward the Padres TV booth.
And that's something Perdomo has to do to be successful if he's a sinker baller. To get those ground balls, he's got to be willing to pitch inside to left-handers.
Slashed down the left field line. Perella on the run. Can't get it. It's a fair ball. And Nick Markakis is on his way to second. That'll be a ground rule double. A slicing liner down the line in left. He's just amazing.
He is, and this is not where they wanted the pitch. They wanted it inside, but it ran away from him, and Nick wasn't even sure where that ball went. But just dropped fair and then bounced over the fence.
So Markakis 25 hits away from 2,000 now. That's his 18th double. And Matt Kemp could use a redeemer. Matt had a rough night last night at the plate, 0 for 4. Including hitting into a first inning ending double play. 1 ball, no strikes.
Perdomo won 9 games for the Padres last year. 9-10, had an ERA of almost 6. Originally in the Cardinals organization. Colorado drafted him in the Rule 5 draft and then traded him to San Diego.
He's one of 4 Rule 5 guys on their 25-man roster. Amazing.
Sure is.
Pitch. That made him throw a strike, and he did. 2-1 the count. Matt held up. Now he's in the driver's seat. 3-1. Matt Adams is the 5th place hitter for the Braves. He waits on deck. Right back where it came from, and Kemp can't believe it. Perdomo will flip to first, and that retires the side. Nice grab by the Padres pitcher. Kemp and the Braves out of luck in the top of the first, and here comes Bartolo Colon. The right place, right time for Bartolo Colon to figure some things out. As you mentioned, Joe, he was outstanding in April.
Yeah, only 1 hit. That was on a home run. The only run he allowed, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. And I could go through all the particulars. None of them are any good about his record or batting average against. Leadoff hitters batting average, that's even worse. But his 4 keys to pitching success. Hey, no Schimpf. Ryan Schimpf was the guy that hit the homer off of him in April. He's not here. And no expectations after this long layoff. Let's just see what we get.
First pitch strike. Jose Perella, the Padres left fielder. It was 1 for 4 last night.
And Margot switch places in the batting order tonight, perhaps just to take a little pressure off of Margot, who had been on the disabled list for a long time, almost a month. Give him a chance to get settled again.
Strike 3. There's the first out for Colon. Good movement on that pitch. And the Padres, who struck out 14 times last night, have their first in this game offensively.
Well, is this a good start? Good movement, good tailing action on the fastball, and 3 of the first 4 right where he wanted them.
Here's Manuel Margot, 0 for 4 in the game last night and hitting .254 for the year. Ball 1. Padres, for the most part this year, have been an all or nothing team. They hit a lot of home runs and they strike out a lot. A lot of their runs come as a direct result of the homer.
Even at age 44, 235 major league wins. You know he's got to be excited tonight to be back out there.
Just a bit low. 3 balls and a strike. Malone's last start was June 5th against the Phillies. Right there. Margot was on his way to first, and the count now full. And ball 4 in front of Will Myers. Andy Green is the Padres skipper. Will Myers anchors their Toyota starting lineup. 15 homers, 39 knocked in. Myers had a 2-hit last night. He thought he hit a home run, but a very odd bounce brought it back, and he had to settle for a double after a lot of confusion and a long replay review.
For 6 in his career against Cologne.
Myers at .262 for the season.
Bartolo has allowed, coming into the game, 101 base runners in 59 innings. That's part and parcel of what the problem's been. Too many hits. And then some walks to compound things. His whip, walks to, and hits to innings pitch, is 1.7. So he's worked out of the stretch a lot.
Margot measures off a big lead at first. Not going. And Myers takes down and away, ball 1. Bell tie, and he took a strike.
We both have a page full of stuff that would be easy to explain why Cologne has an ERA of 7.78. I'm going to try to harp more on tonight being kind of the start of a new season for him.
A turn the page, fresh start.
Yeah, and let's hope that it's back to being the guy that we really loved watching pitch when he was with the Mets.
Grounded foul and out of play. Well, you know, one thing Bartolo Colon has is a great deal of professional pride. You can't help but think that this man has been stung by what's happened to him in 2017. Not only did he want to pitch well in a Braves uniform, there are a couple of big milestones that he's been trying to chase down too, and I don't know if he's going to get to him.
Yeah,
if he doesn't turn things around and turn them around quickly.
You know that's on his mind.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And that caught the outside corner. Myers caught looking. 2 outs.
This is a really good sign. The 2 strikeouts have come on fastballs backing up to the strike zone. 2 seamers that tailed back in. He tried to do the same thing on the 3-2 count to Margot and missed, but 2 strikeouts on good pitches.
Those are Bartolo's career rankings among active pitchers, and the 2 very important milestones he'd like to get are most wins among Dominican-born pitchers. He's 8 behind Juan Marichal, and he's 10 wins behind Dennis Martinez for most wins by any Latin American pitcher. And I'm with you. I fully was in favor of signing Bartolo Colon after what he did with the Mets and against the Braves and his mound presence, as it were. And the early returns were pretty good for him. On a 1-4 month of May with an 8.5 ERA. The last start against the Phillies, which saw him give up 8 runs in back-to-back starts, 7 or more runs in 3 starts in a row. Then the oblique, then the back. And here he is. As Renfroe didn't get it. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Change up. Good one.
Renfroe will strike out a time or 2. He's punched out 82 times. But has tremendous power. He hit a home run here last year on top of the Western Metal Supply building, onto the roof.
That's impressive.
So if you hang one, Mr. Renfroe will hit it a country mile. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that's into the seats, out of play. Do it again.
Julio Teheran has more starts than anyone on the staff. He's got 16. And if you factor about 32 or 33 starts for the year, you're basically about halfway. So if Colon pitches well and continues to pitch well, and he's got 16 starts left, maybe 17, then those milestones are within reach if he pitches well.
Right. Low and outside for Renfroe. He's a tough man to walk. He's earned 20 free passes so far this year. Margot will get a head start at first. Adams plays behind him with 2 outs. There he goes. The pitch is up and away here in the walk. So 2 strikeouts, 2 walks for Colon. The inning continues. And here's Corey Spangenberg, the Padres third baseman. And as you said, that walks and hits per inning pitched around 1.7. Well, here he is, 2 base runners in the opening inning. Spangenberg's knocked in 14 men, hitting .267. Bartolo ahead with a strike.
You know, Spangenberg did a little more homework on him. He was a very high draft pick. The 10th pick in the draft by the Padres a few years ago. Started his college career at VMI and transferred to a junior college in Florida before he was taken in the first round.
That's slicing down the line. Long run, Kemp. He's not going to get there. It's up against the wall. 1 run scores. Here comes Renfroe around third. They're going to wave him. It's a double for Spangenberg, and the Padres strike with a 2-out double here in the first inning. And Joe, your scouting report right on the money. The walks turn into a 2-run first.
Boy, what a pitch that he was able to drive the other way. It was about ankle high.
So Atlanta's got to come from behind tonight. Eric Ibar, the shortstop. Hitting .216 for the year, but 6 homers. Almost hit a 7th last night. Matt Kemp brought it back at the left field wall. A walk and a double with 2 outs. Leads to 2 San Diego runs. Little bouncer toward Phillips, who gives ground. Quick release, and in time to retire the side. Ibar rolls out, but Spangenberg doubles to left, and San Diego strikes first in the first.
To by Academy Sports and Outdoors. For all, for less.
Well, along with Maverick Joe Simpson, Chip Carey back with you in San Diego. That is the world famous Kansas City barbecue, famous for the Top Gun Great Balls of Fire movie scene, and pretty good barbecue too, right down by the waterfront. There's the famous piano. There's Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis.
Great joint. Great food.
Let's see if Matt Adams can take our breath away here in the second. Adams went 1 for 4 last night, riding a 6-game hitting streak, and he's reached base in 13 of 14. Padres have a shift on for him, leading 2-0.
These two pitchers are similar in a lot of ways. They're both from the Dominican. They both throw a lot of fastballs. They both throw a lot of 2-seam sinkers. Just that one's 20 years younger than the other.
Ground ball. Nice pick. And a perfect throw takes care of Adams. There's the first out. That's the 3rd ground ball out for Perdomo. That's his calling card. Looks like he's got good stuff to start tonight. And it was Spangenberg that made the play. So officially it's a 5-3 putout, even though the ball was pulled to the first base side of second base. Tyler Flowers, the hitter for Atlanta, 2 for 4 last night. Andy Green called him the player of the game for the Braves last night. Not so much because of what Tyler did at the plate, but what he did behind it. He was raving at the job Flowers did in stealing strikes for Sean Newcomb in the game. As the count quickly to 0-2. Padres were caught looking 7 times in the game last night. They were not happy with Lance Barrett's strike zone for the San Diegans. But that's what Tyler does. He is one of, if not the best pitch framer in the National League behind the plate.
I think he's rated the best.
That was tipped and caught. Hedges held on. And that's Perdomo's first strikeout.
Gets his fair share of strikeouts, too. That's number 62 in 74 innings of work. Had a high batting average against him, 272 coming in. Only 9 homers, though. Tough to elevate him, and pitches in a great pitcher's ballpark.
Padres held Dansby down last night. He was 0 for 4. Hitting .227 for the year. Now it's an even count.
That is a good movement.
And same spot, same result. Back-to-back strikeouts for Perdomo, who protects a 2-0 lead.
On this one, guys, I got props for you. We're talking Bartolo Colon. He's my teammate in 05. Played with him on the Indians. The one thing that he has always had is deception. He throws darts from behind his head right here, comes out, and the hitter always struggling to pick up that ball. So you guys are right. He does have to hit his spots. But the one thing that we have noticed this year, he has not gotten away with mistakes. Like Nuke did last night, the ball just gets on you. That usually can say the same thing about Bartolo. He had struggled with that this year, trying to find the magic. Back to you guys.
Okay, Bertie, thank you very much. As Carlos Asuaje leads off and takes a strike, think how differently the first inning would have gone had Renfroe been called out on that check swing. Inning would have ended right there. Instead, it was a walk, and then Spangenberg with a double on a ball he golfed down the left field line. Asuaje had 2 hits last night for the Padres. And he's got a base hit leading off the second on an 0-2 count.
Tyler was set up away, but he missed in the middle of the plate on that one.
So this is Austin Hedges, our first look at him in the series. He's 24. He'll turn 25 in mid-August. .11 homers, 36 knocked in for the San Diego catcher. He came up to the big leagues for 56 games in 2015, just 8 games last year. After he hit 21 homers, drove in 82 runs in 82 games at AAA.
He's the guy that got bowled over by Anthony Rizzo in a game against the Cubs last week. Did not sit well with Andy Green, his manager, in terms of how Rizzo kind of ran out of the baseline in a way to try to get Hedges.
Popped him up. And Brandon Phillips backpedals at second. He says he's got it and does. Hedges retired. 1 out for Perdomo.
Cubs suffered another blow today, didn't they?
Wow, a big one too. And Chris Bryant might be the most unlucky man in the major leagues. He caught a pop-up in foul ground, and as his momentum carried him back toward fair territory, he stepped awkwardly on the third base bag at Nationals Park and turned his ankle badly and had to be helped off the field. Some reports say he might miss as many as 5 weeks for the Chicago Cubs on what looked like a very harmless play tonight. The Cubs also without Miguel Montero, whom they designated for assignment 1 day after he openly criticized Jake Arrieta and his lack of speed to the plate after Washington stole 7 bases against him and the Cubs last evening. Perdomo with a bunt. It stays fair. A successful sacrifice. Asuaje to second, 2 outs.
Pretty good idea here to go ahead and pick this up, even though it's on the chalk, because this guy can run, Perdomo. How many pitchers do you know that have 3 hits on the year, a double and 2 triples? He's the first pitcher to have 2 triples in a season since Dontrell Willis, who does not play for the Hawks.
That's right, he doesn't. As Perella stands in after striking out his first time up. Let's see if Colon can get out of this second inning and get the Braves bats back in action. 2-0 San Diego the lead. Right there, a strike. You mentioned the high number of base runners that Bartolo has had, the high number of hits, the high number of walks. The timing of those hits has also been very problematic for him, as this one's hit toward third. Camargo loads up and throws a strike to first in time, and Colon pitches out of a moderate second inning miss. We'll discuss that further as the Braves come up in the third. Still 2-0 Padres. Johan Camargo last night provided the first 2 Atlanta RBIs.
Thought it was going to be a homer. Just missed. Turned into a 2-run double. He was thrown out at third. And boy, did he get decked. First of all, he landed on his rib cage, and then he got tagged in the face for good measure. But as a starter in 15 games, a 300-plus batting average and 10 RBIs in 15 games. Taking full advantage of the opportunity with Adonis Garcia on the DL. And yes, he can play other positions.
12 RBIs for Camargo, a .294 average. He leads off the third for the Braves and takes a strike, says Mike Winters. It's 0-1. Washington did beat the Cubs 8-4. At Nationals Park, Steven Strasburg started that game for Washington. So the Braves have to win tonight to keep pace with them. And word just came across the wire about Chris Bryant. They took x-rays of his ankle day to day. A moderate ankle sprain. Broken bat and into center field. It's a base hit for Camargo. He just keeps on keeping on. His second hit of the series. And a chance for Bartolo Colon to bunt him over.
Got a good pitch to hit there, 0-2 also. Like a breaking ball that was hanging out over the plate, and he didn't miss it.
Anytime Bartolo stands in the box in this ballpark, you know danger awaits. Because this was the place that magic happened in the major leagues last May 7th. This time he bunts. Myers is going to fire to second. They're going to get one. They're going to get two. What a play by Myers. An all-star first baseman, just showed you why. That was a Jeff Bagwell-like aggressive charge on a bunt.
He came in and talked to Perdomo before the bunt. And I'm sure was saying, we got a chance at a double play here if you make sure you throw fastballs. Don't give him a chance to soften it. What a nice play.
So a 3-6-4 double play. Back to the top of the order and 2 outs for Ender Inciarte. Ender popped out to left, his lone time up. And takes a strike.
Padres, each of the last 2 afternoons when we've come to the ballpark, have been working tirelessly on their infield drills. If you were with us last night, I told you they were tied for 13th in the National League with the Braves in errors. Only Milwaukee has made more, and they work hard to try to fix that.
Well, these are tough times for the Padres at the major league level. They've made the organizational decision to tear it down to the foundation and start over. 6 straight losing seasons, including a 94-loss campaign last year. And that's strike 3 over the inside corner. That's the 3rd strikeout for Perdomo, who's rolling with a 2-0 lead after 2.5. Park in San Diego is the grassy berm out beyond the wall in right center field. Fans can purchase a general admission ticket, bring the blankets, bring in the picnic, let the kids run around, watch the game on a big screen out beyond the batter's eye in center. A great, unique way to watch a major league game here in San Diego.
And there's a big screen on the back side of the batter's eye, isn't there?
Yes.
They can see replays or see the game up close if they like.
It is amazing, though, how this park has changed so much over the years. We don't get out here but once a season. They've tried to bring the fences in to make it more hitter friendly. As this one shot to right by Margot, a leadoff hit. He's aboard for a second time. Second straight inning, the Padres have a leadoff man on.
Leadoff men are hitting .339 against Colon on the year.
So when they get on, if they get over, back to your point last inning about the biggest issue for Bartolo, when the opposing teams get a runner at second or third base, it's almost a sure bet that they're scoring against the Braves right-hander. Myers struck out looking. He was the second out in the first inning. He did that with a man aboard. He's got a man aboard here and nobody out in the third. Tyler Flowers double clutch, and it's an easy stolen base for Margot.
That looked like a delayed steal, Chip. I don't think, because Phillips was not there covering. Flowers double pumped. Bounce, 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 go. Absolutely. You don't see a delayed steal very often anymore. Well executed by Margot.
So here we are, a man in scoring position for the Padres' most dangerous hitter, Will Myers. And this is a terrifying set of numbers.
Well, when you combine it with his whip, when you're having almost 2 runners per inning, and you're giving up a .443 average with risk, that is a terrible combination.
2 balls, no strikes. With the lead, I'm guessing Myers has the green light here. I'd be shocked if Colon gives him anything good to hit. Took a strike. Now it's 3-1. Runner's going to try to steal third, and Flowers drops the baseball. So Margot with 2 stolen bases in the inning. He's 90 feet away, and Myers will face a 3-2 pitch.
And that was one of the slower leg kicks and deliveries by Bart tonight. Great read by Margot. Myers thought he had walked. He's going to see another pitch.
Braves look like they'll concede a run for a ball hit up the middle here. Bartolo continues out of the stretch. It's 3-2. It's up the middle. Dansby to his left. Fires and not in time. Infield hit for Myers. A run is in. It's 3-0. Bartolo almost gloved that ball up the middle. If he does, the runner has to hold.
Slider somehow got it. Looked like ball 4. Nice play by Swanson. But Myers leading their team in stolen bases. Gets down the line in a hurry, and that's RBI number 40 for him.
So it's San Diego 3-0 now in the third. Still nobody out. Back-to-back hits. And Hunter Renfroe, the hitter, he's walked and scored as well.
Interesting note given to us tonight about the Braves' results following a shutout win since the beginning of the 2016 season. The Braves are only 2-9 following a shutout.
Popped up, back toward us, and out of reach of Tyler Flowers. It's an even count. Hunter Renfroe's 25 years old, lives in Nashville. In the offseason, pop this one up. Adams at first base, and now in foul ground, puts the squeeze on that. Renfroe's retired. 1 out, 1 on, 1 in. Here's Spangenberg. He had a pretty good pitch, if memory serves, to drive in the first 2 runs for San Diego. So Colon had some bad luck in that regard, but the 2 walks were problematic in the opening inning for him.
Yeah, down and away and about ankle high.
Flowers can't find it. It hit off his foot and ricocheted down the third base line. So Myers moves up on a ball in the dirt. Let's see what this hit.
Hit him in the foot. I'm not sure where he was going, but he was leaning left, but the pitch was to his right.
Wild pitch. Good thing he got leather on that ball, otherwise it would have gone to the screen and Myers might have been at third base.
Didn't look like leather. It looked like
leather of a shoe.
Yeah, the shin guard that covers the top of his shoe.
Two balls, no strikes.
So 2, 3, 4 sliders this inning.
That's how to play left side. We'll do it again. 2-2. Leg problems have been the issue for Spangenberg the last couple of years. A knee problem in 2015. A quad problem last year. This ball's hit high in the air toward left center. Ender on the run. He's going to give way to Matt Kemp, who makes the catch, and that's out number 2. So Ibar, the batter, he bounced out to Brandon Phillips, his first and only time up. 3-0 San Diego, 2 in the first, 1 here in the third, and Cologne's thrown a lot of pitches, already 52 of them. Back safely. One of the big mysteries for the Braves last season was what happened to Eric Ibar. The reputation of Eric as an American League shortstop and one of the better ones over in the junior circuit never really transferred to Atlanta. He hit .242 in 97 games for the Braves, but he really had to work hard to get his average up that high before he was dispatched to the Tigers. Ibar also committed 13 errors in those 97 games.
I think that was the thing that took everybody by surprise outside of Atlanta that had seen him play a lot. A slow start was one thing offensively, but when he's making that many errors, that was very unusual for most people who had seen him play a lot.
Yeah, just 2 years earlier with the Angels, he was an all-star and he'd won the Gold Glove in 2011. 1-1 pitch. In fairness to Ibar, the Braves and we and the fans were spoiled by watching Andrelton Simmons play every day. So just about anybody would pale in comparison to Andrelton and his defensive excellence. But when Dansby was ready to go, Ibar became expendable. And the principal in the deal is the man that pitched last night for the Braves, Sean Newcomb, who was brilliant to earn his first major league victory. And Ibar getting a chance to play here in San Diego. Little chopper, that's trouble. Adams with the backhand, can't get it out of his glove, and everybody's safe. So Ibar reaches on an infield hit. The Padres are at the corners, 2 out.
Could have been going to the backhand to swipe that. As he picked it up, may have made it more difficult to get the ball out of his glove.
So the inning continues. Asuaje becomes the 6th Padre to hit. They've got 5 hits already tonight, including one by this man. It came on an 0-2 count last inning. Asuaje was the Pacific Coast League Rookie of the Year last year. He had 172 hits at El Paso. Bouncing ball, that's through for a base hit. It's 4-0.
Four hits in a game in 3 innings for Asuaje. And the misplay at first, it was ruled an infield hit. Comes back to bite Bartolo.
So San Diego's putting the ball in play, and good things are happening for them. They lead 4-0. And here's Hedges, the catcher, who popped out his first time up. It's bounced off the plate, a ball and a strike.
You know, there are signs that Bartolo has what he used to have. You know, the ball movement, pitch movement when it's down, using his slider effectively, and getting guys to chase some pitches that aren't strikes. But at the moment of truth, when he's got to get an out with guys in scoring position, it's not happening.
That's hit to short. Dansby will make the long throw to first, and that retires the side. 2 more runs across for the Padres in the 3rd inning. They do it on 4 hits. It's 4-0. inning. Time for our Zaxby's indescribably good play. Let's take a look at what the Braves' record is since August 1st of last season. That, of course, right around the time Atlanta acquired Matt Kemp from these San Diego Padres.
I think this backs up what I was saying last night about this improvement for the Braves. You can almost single-handedly hand it to the offense. Look at that. Almost 5 runs a game, good on-base percentage, a home run a game, and certainly Matt is a huge part of that. And that record is 68 and 64, even with a lot of games without Freddie Freeman here this year.
So if that average holds out, the Braves are going to win this game 4.9-4.
That'll be fine.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's see if something good can happen here in the 4th inning as Brandon Phillips goes to work first.
So if the Braves can get that starting pitching squared away, things will continue to improve.
Oh, Brandon tried to get out of the way and swung the bat in self-defense, and that cost him a strike.
I can't believe he didn't hurt himself, especially his right knee. See how that ball moved in on him? Late movement. Ready to swing and then having to get out of the way.
That's hit to second. Asuaje's got it. 1 out. Ground ball after ground ball from Perdomo so far tonight. As you mentioned, that's a big part of his repertoire. He's gotten Brandon to ground out to second twice in 2 trips. Here's Markakis. Nick has one of the 2 Atlanta hits, a 2-out double in the opening inning.
Highest ground ball percentage as a starter, both leagues. Perdomo 3rd place. And that's a lot, 65%.
And how about the year Alex Wood's having for the Dodgers? Remarkable.
They might make the All-Star team.
Let's take it low. Dodgers are playing the Angels in the Freeway Series. No score in Anaheim tonight. That's in the 3rd inning. Big news with the Angels. Did you know they officially changed their name?
No.
They are no longer.
Again. Come on.
Wait. I think you're going to like this one.
Okay.
Hang on. No longer are they the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Southern California, United States. Western Hemisphere. They are the simply Los Angeles Angels. So they dropped the of Anaheim part.
Oh, there'll be marches and protests all over Anaheim.
Markakis takes a base on balls. Good to see him wait out Perdomo. Again, he'll walk you if you let him. And Kemp's coming up with a chance to slice this lead in half.
Well, that's good. Now we won't have to stutter and stammer trying to remember who they are.
Well, any more than normal.
Yeah.
As Kemp's coming up.
They've kind of gone back to their roots. That's what they were when they first started.
Right. Matt Kemp hit a comebacker to the mound his first time up. And he chops one toward third. Spangenberg, second one. Flip to first is going to be in time. It's a double play around the horn. There's some excellent Padre infield defensive work. Braves, though, are going to take a look, I think, make sure that Kemp was indeed out at first base.
Myers did a good job of coming off the bag to take that throw. He was called out by Jim Reynolds, but he may have, in baseball parlance, cheated a little bit to come get this throw. See him pull his foot off the bag.
And apparently not enough evidence for the Braves to challenge the call, so it is a double play, and just like that, Atlanta's done in the top of the 4th.
by your local Ford dealer and the Georgia Lottery.
Chip and Joe with Paul Bird in San Diego. It's the Padres 4, Atlanta nothing. San Diego got 2 in the first, 2 in the third. And they have Perdomo, Perella, and Margot coming up. A rare first pitch strike for Bartolo, who's thrown strike 1 to 8 of the first 18 hitters he has seen in the game. And a little late. Quickly 0-2. The Padres play in a big ballpark. They have to find ways to manufacture offense. They don't have a ton of power. And when they don't get home runs, they really struggle to score, as we saw last night. The sacrifice this man laid down in the second inning didn't lead to a run, but it added to the Padres' sacrifice total of 28 now. That's the second most sacrifice bunts in the big leagues, behind Colorado's 36. A little chopper. Bartolo pounces, fires to first, and got his man by a step. Perdomo lost the helmet and the battle. He's out number 1.
Nice play by Colon. Kind of surprising to see that Colorado's leading the league in sacrifice bunts, huh? I bet that's never happened before.
Probably not. And you'd think they wouldn't need it with all the firepower they have with Arenado and Story and company, and Charlie Blackmon too. But Colorado might want to sacrifice something else. They got beat again tonight. The Giants knocked them off in San Francisco, excuse me. As this one's chopped toward Camargo. Pirela is an easy out. The Rockies have now lost 8 games in a row. Two outs. Here's Margot. He's reached twice. He scored twice. He's got 2 stolen bases. I know we're not yet quite halfway through this 2017 season, but I'd have to think that Bud Black, Craig Counsell, right at the top of the list of Manager of the Year candidates in the National League. Dave Roberts of the Dodgers, they've got a giant payroll. You have to kind of, I don't want to say take that away from the Los Angeles team, because they are playing great. But I'm sure it's a lot easier for the Dodgers to get to 50 wins than it is for Milwaukee to get to their 41. As a base hit by Margot with 2 outs, he's 2 for 2. Colon does not yet have a 1-2-3 inning in the game. This hit comes with Myers on deck and now in the batter's box.
It's a welcome sign for their offense, though, to see Margot back in the lineup and swinging it well tonight. 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts last night in his first game back. Good night tonight. It is a civic ordinance in San Diego. Will Myers must bat every inning.
Adams can't find it. Luckily, it hit off the heel of his glove, and no advance by Margot from first.
Johnny Washington, the first base coach for the Pods.
He'll be an all-star again for San Diego. As we mentioned last night, he hit cleanup for the National League All-Stars last year. Did Will Myers. The pitch is taken a little low. 2 balls, no strikes.
Show you something here, Chip, something I didn't know about him, and I rarely see, if ever, the bottom hand for Will Myers. Look where his thumb is. It's up the length of the bat. And then he wraps his hand almost around his thumb, almost like a golf grip. That's very different.
Three balls, no strikes.
Good pitch. Tell you what, one of these 3-0 counts and he gets that 84, 87 mile an hour fastball, he's not going to be taking.
So you're saying he's using the Bill Varden grip?
Yes. It's a strong grip.
3 balls and a strike. And he takes a walk. More 2-out trouble for Colon. Here's Renfroe.
Well, it's 2 more base runners as well.
Nothing has been said officially by the Braves about Bartolo Colon and the after effects of this start. If he'd come out and thrown a 1-hitter, I don't know if there was a guarantee he would start another game. I don't know that there's not a guarantee he won't start another game.
Everybody, all of us wanted to see him have a good outing.
Right.
You know, even if it was a 5-inning something to build on, you know, confidence builder. They wanted to see signs of the Bartolo Colon that won 15 games last year for the Mets and had a 3.5 ERA. Everybody wanted to see that.
Sadly, we haven't seen that tonight. And so ultimately the question, win or lose tonight, what do the Braves do with Bartolo Colon? Assuming he comes out of this start healthy, the Braves are going with essentially a 6-man rotation right now. They might continue that up to the All-Star break. Then you still have to make a decision with Colon or someone else. And that's off the plate.
Yes, he did. He went.
He did. 1-2 for Renfroe.
Braves have another off day at home next Monday. I don't know how that will affect the thoughts of continuing with a 6-man rotation. If you're thinking about a 5-man rotation, Colon's pitching on Wednesday. That would be his turn on that off day. But with a 6-man rotation, I don't have an idea of how it would all fit.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And a line drive down the line. It's a fair ball into the right field corner. Margot scores. Here comes Myers around third. He'll be waved. Renfroe's going to third. The throw there gets away, bounces off the padded wall. Everybody's safe. Renfroe with a triple, and San Diego has scored 6.
Bart never gets away with it. Sinker down, but over the plate. Markakis did a good job to get over there and cut it off. And Renfroe, probably with a good throw, they'd have had him, but he turns it into a triple and 2 more runs.
First triple of his career, by the way, and 5 of the 6 Padres runs in this game have come with 2 outs.
That's his first ever triple? Really? Huh.
So it's 6-0 San Diego in the 4th. And bunted back to the mound. And that's going to end the inning. It was caught on the fly, so Spangenberg's retired on a line out to the mound.
He needs to swing the bat.
Rally. It's the 5th inning presented by Audi. It's a 6-0 Padres lead over Bartolo Colon and the Braves. So hopefully Grandpa's watching. And hopefully Luis Perdomo will have some trouble here in the 5th. Adams, Flowers, and Swanson are coming up. First pitch swing, ground ball to the left side. 1 pitch and 1 out. Tyler Flowers is coming up. He's our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot feature. He's had a terrific run over the last 3.5 weeks.
How about the on-base percentage? He's been on base 23 out of those 24 games. Very high average, of course. He's hitting .331 coming into this game overall for the season, to go with his good pitch framing.
Haven't seen the latest vote totals for the National League for the starters for All-Star catchers. I'm guessing Buster Posey's the guy in front for the Giants.
Well, Joe Madden will round out his team. You think he'll take Miguel Montero?
I think Miguel Montero is probably not going to participate.
Probably not on that list.
Not on that list. Contreras might, though. Young man behind the plate.
I don't know how you felt about that with Montero blaming everyone else for the stolen bases.
Line into left center field for Tyler Flowers. That's going to roll for a while. Tyler's going to have an extra base hit, and he's going to jog into second with a 1-out double. Yeah, I don't like it when players call out other teammates like that. That's certainly not the way things have ever been done with the Braves, and I'm sure it was a shock to Jake Arrieta and the rest of the Cubs.
I just love the way the Cubs handled it.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah. They called up Victor Caratini, who was a Braves farmhand. The Braves traded him to the Cubs for James Russell and Emilio Bonifacio a couple of years ago. As someone mentioned online today, you know how many times David Ross complained about John Lester being slow to the plate when he caught him? 0.
None.
But it seems to me that was probably the last straw. Remember, Montero wasn't very happy with the way he was used in the playoffs last year. He was very vocal about that. Had to have a one-on-one meeting with Joe Madden this year about that last year. as Dansby takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. All San Diego in the first 4 innings. And Perdomo enjoying a huge amount of run support, something he does not often get. In fact, he's one of the lowest supported starting pitchers in our league. Padres have scored 19 runs for him in his previous 7 starts before the 6 he's gotten tonight.
Well done, lady. She had a choice. She's either going to catch it in her Pringles can or her hat. She used her hat.
Can't give up the Pringles, man.
Nope.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Strike 3 over the outside corner. Dansby didn't think it was a strike, but that's the 4th punch out for Perdomo.
And that one was a slider. These umpires so far in this series have been very generous. And that was just one of those that's too close to take.
So Luis might be saying to Mike Winters after the game, Perdomo arigato for that strike 3 call.
You think?
I don't know. Maybe. I'll find out. Let you know tomorrow.
I wish we could rewind that.
Margot fouls one away, strike 1.
He's got a piece of Hedges. Oh, right off the top of the arm. Has he got one of those quarterback things?
He does. How complicated can it be?
Not supposed to be.
Ground ball to second, and that'll take care of Camargo and the Braves in the 5th inning. 6-0. San Diego has the lead. And frankly, who knows when he will pitch again. 80 pitches in 4 innings, 6 runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Some of it bad luck for Colon, especially the hit in the 1st inning, but a ton of base runners and 6 more runs for Colon, who has seen his total of runs allowed in his last 4 starts total 6 tonight. 8 against the Phillies June 5th, 9 against the Angels May 30th, and 7 against the Pirates on May 25th. So Ian Kroll's going to take over. That's one of 3 changes for Atlanta as the Braves go to work defensively in the bottom of the 5th inning, trailing 6-0. Jace Peterson's checked into the game to play 3rd base. And Johan Camargo is going to move over to shortstop, so Dansby Swanson gets the rest of this game off.
I think that's a good call at this point. 6-0. Dansby's had very little rest, very few innings off.
So I am sure that conversation number one after the ball game with Brian Snitker, win or lose tonight, will be Bartolo. And that's a big albatross, quite frankly, that the Braves have to figure out. Forget the money. The money's sunk. You've spent it. And it's a matter of how does Bartolo Colon fit into the Braves' plans going forward? Will he start? Can he provide you innings out of the bullpen? Or is this the final game he'll pitch in a Braves uniform? I would imagine all of those things are possibilities. John Coppola, John Hart, Terry McGurk are all out here in San Diego on this road trip with the Braves. And so I'm sure they are discussing that amongst themselves, and will do so with the staff after the game and again tomorrow. As Cole delivers a strike, 3-1 to Ibar. Six runs, 8 hits for the Padres. No runs, 3 hits for the Braves in game 2. And Ibar pops one up. Adams gives chase, won't have a chance. And a full count. Tomorrow night we'll join you an hour earlier for Braves Live than Game 3 of the series. Jaime Garcia and Dinelson Lamet. For San Diego, our first look at him. By the way, they got the microphone fixed right by the Padres on deck circle.
Oh, yeah. Got hit by a bat last night.
So everything back in working order as Ibar 1 for 2 in the game. Strokes one past Camargo. He's got another hit. So Ibar's aboard. Here's Aswahe. He's 2 for 2.
Able to drop the barrel on that low fastball. It was a good angle to be able to see how quickly that ball got up the middle.
Upstairs to Aswahe, listed by Baseball America as the Padres' 11th best prospect. 5'9", 160 pounds, originally drafted and signed by the Red Sox. One of the names that they compared him to is Tommy La Stella, the former Brave and current Cub. Take it low.
Hitters have funny quirks, and everybody's got to do their same little routine before they get in the box. This guy's got an interesting one. Watch this. Hold the bat in front of him and squat down for every pitch. That's different.
It worked though. He's got another hit. He's 3 for 3. Ibar makes the turn. He's on his way to third and stands there safely. And Kroll has come in and allowed back-to-back Padres hits.
5 hits now for Aswahi in the series. And against a left-handed pitcher, holds his own there.
First man out of the pen tonight is Ian Kroll to make room for Bartolo Colon coming off the disabled list. Jason Hirsch was sent back to AAA. See how long Ian Kroll can go tonight. As Hedges didn't get it, he's down a strike.
Jason Hirsch did a nice job. I think we'll see him again soon.
Hedges is a dangerous man. 11 homers, 36 RBIs, most for any National League catcher. Hedges trying to extend a current 3-game hitting streak.
Another candidate as an all-star, even though his average is down.
Flowers blocked that, and Hedges swung at that ball apparently. He didn't think so. So Kroll got a strike on a check swing on the breaking ball.
Nice block by Tyler.
So the correct count is what you see on your screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. First and third, nobody out for San Diego. Popped up. Tyler behind the plate, back to the screen, will be a row short.
I've got some friends who are 4 short, which would make them more than a row short. I wasn't talking about you.
Yeah. More than one on this side of the booth, I promise you. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And bounced out of play again.
I know when the Braves did their dealings with the Padres, a couple of different trades, this guy's name was always mentioned prominently. But San Diego would not let him go.
They like him a lot. And he just struck out. Good fastball from Kroll. That's his first strikeout. Now Perdomo's coming up with men at the corners, 1 man down. He stabbed at that bunt, didn't get it. No balls and a strike. Took the breaking ball that time, and Kroll dropped it in for strike 2. this keeps up, we may have to get an order of fish tacos up here pretty soon.
Want me to go get them?
Well, let's see how the rest of the inning goes as Perdomo bunts one out of play to strike out. 2-on, 2-way now. And here's Pirella again.
3 of the last 4 outings for Ian Kroll have been scoreless. In fact, 9 of his last 11 have been scoreless. And in those 11, he has not walked a batter.
That's the big one for me. Pitching in relief.
Me too.
If they hit you, that's one thing, but bases on balls are a killer. That's what happened to Colon in the first inning. A 2-out walk on a check swing and then a 2-run double, and that got the Padres going, and they haven't stopped since. Already they have 6 runs on 10 hits. And on the play right side.
2.95 ERA over his last 20 games.
No balls, 2 strikes. And Tyler with a nice stop at the plate. It's 1-2. Giants beat the Rockies 5-3. Phillies beat Seattle 5-4 up at Safeco Field.
Yeah, I think they got two runs late, maybe the 9th inning to win that game.
One ball, 2 strikes. That was around the plate, even count now. Reds knocked off Milwaukee 4-3. Brewers will have a 1-game lead still over the Cubs. As we told you, Chicago was beaten by Strasburg in the Nationals 8-4 at Nationals Park. Mets beat Miami 8-zip. Steven Matz had a brilliant game for New York. Pitch. And that was fouled away at the plate. Houston beat Oakland 11-8. Braves will finish up the series with the Padres here tomorrow night and then move up to Oakland for 3 games over the weekend and then home for 2 with Houston 4th and 5th of July and then finish up the first half with the Nationals on the road. Pirella not going quietly here.
Very little place to hide in this dugout here in Petco Park. You can see everybody kind of hunkered down over there on the far end of the dugout, but that stairway is wide open.
Driven out of play, foul. Yeah, that might be the smallest protective area of any dugout we have in our league.
Kind of like a chicken coop over there.
Uh-huh. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss. Kroll finally finished off Pirella. He struck out 3 in a row after giving up back-to-back hits. We go to the 6th.
I got bad news, everybody. Braves down 6-0. But I got some really good news. I'm going to bring you back. In case you missed it, Freddie Freeman took live BP on the field today, and he was smoking it. Line drives over shortstop, pulling the ball, squaring everything up. They say if you can hit, you can just flat out hit, and that is the case with him. He did not miss a beat. And here's even more better news, guys. You touched on it earlier. He told me off camera he only needs 20 at-bats live pitching before he's ready to come back, so he won't go with the team to San Francisco and should be ready shortly. Guys, back to you.
That's pretty good, Paul. But that doesn't surprise me. Just seeing the first swing he took today, he hit a drive to straightaway center over whoever was shagging in center field. It got over their head before they could react. When I saw that, I thought it won't be long at all.
Really remarkable when you think about it. It's been, what, 7.5 weeks since Freeman got hit by that pitch, and the original prognosis was 8 to 10, best case scenario. And as it stands now, it's looking like best case scenario for Freeman. I was really encouraged with the sound we had as Jace Peterson, former Padre farmhand, rolls out. One away. I was really pleased to hear what Freddie said with Paul during Braves Live and during our opening comments, that the more swings he took, the better the fractured wrist felt. As if it started to stretch out, loosen up, it felt more normal to him as he took more and more swings.
I'm sure a lot of that had to do with confidence too, Chip, that it feels good and I can swing harder as I'm going along here. Hey, this feels great. So all of a sudden they all started feeling good.
But of course the ultimate test for Freeman, as you see Alan Cordova in left, will be that first 95-mile-an-hour fastball in on his hands. How does he handle that, and how does the wrist react? Up the middle, Inciarte has a base hit, the 101st of the season for him, and that extends his hitting streak now to 10 games. Here's Brandon Phillips. He's rolled out to second twice. Slender has the fourth Braves hit of the game. And a breaking ball had him way out in front. Strike one. This has been what Perdomo. Well, this is a start that Perdomo has turned in quite a few times this year. Fewer than 3 runs allowed, earned runs allowed to an opponent. 10 games this year for San Diego, but still a 2-4 record. As that one's whistled down the line and just fouled. 9 quality starts, winning record against the East. Led the Padres in wins and innings last year. When he gets in trouble, opponents hitting under 200 and runners in scoring position situations. But as a starting pitcher, you can't win if your offense doesn't score, and offense has been the problem for the Padres all year long. 5th lowest run support of any starter who qualifies in the National League.
And a guy you just don't hear anything about.
Oh, 2 pitch. His bounce the other way, and that's going to sneak through for a hit. So it's a happy birthday for Phillips. The Braves have a threat going, 2 on with 1 out. And the right guys are coming up. Here's Markakis, who's doubled and walked.
That was almost okay. I'm not going to try to pull another one. I see a huge hole here on the right side. I'm behind in the count. Slahi's way up the middle toward the bag for a double play ball. And he just took a little off his swing and played pepper with that hole. Well done.
$18 RBIs for Markakis in the last 22 games. RBI chance for him here as the Braves try to spoil a shutout bid. They're down 6.
I went up to him today and I said, I've got a pressing question for you. And He was very intent, as he always is. Yes. And I said, what makes you decide to wear your pant legs high or low? Show socks or no socks? Is there any rhyme or reason to it? And he said, no.
That was it?
Pretty much. And I said, well, I just figured it was sometimes when it's real hot, guys like to wear their pant legs up high because it's a little cooler. And he goes, no, it's not it. And he said, it's actually, he said, it's complicated how I get dressed. That was new.
Pitch.
And he said, and it's harder to get dressed with your pant legs like he's wearing them tonight. He said, so a lot of times when you see me when I'm not showing any socks, it's because I was just too lazy to do it.
Wait a minute. It's more complicated to wear your uniform pants like that?
Yes.
Why?
Well, probably because you got to tuck it, roll it with the sock at the top.
I see. Okay.
I don't know. I've never thought of that as complicated. This is coming straight from Nick. And he said, but in the minor leagues with the Orioles, it was mandated that every player in the minor leagues with the Orioles had to wear all their socks showing like he's wearing tonight. And he said, when I got out of the Orioles, I swore I'd never, or got to the big leagues, I swore I'd never do it again.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. 3 balls and a strike.
There's your fashion statement for the night.
Well, there's another walk from Perdomo. And now the bases are loaded for Matt Kemp. One swing of the bat could make this an interesting game all of a sudden.
You bet it could.
Let's see if Kemp can sock one here and hit his 13th home run. Fans have booed him lustily at every turn so far in San Diego. Matt has yet to get the ball out of the infield. He's hit into 2 double plays, and he struck out once in 6 at-bats so far in the series. Anthony's a strike.
Hard to elevate this guy. Good sinker to start him.
He didn't swing. Even count. Mentioned last night, Matt did a heck of a job here in San Diego. As he said, he played hurt. But in 254 games, hit 46 homers and drove in 169. And a great stop by Hedges to save a run. 2-1 the count.
He's playing hurt right now, Chip.
Yeah.
I mean, his leg's nowhere near 100%. You could see it when he was going after that ball in the left field corner in the first inning. You could see it when he was trying to avoid a double play his last time up in the 4th. Not able to run at all like he'd like to, but he wants to play.
Up the middle and through. There's a base hit. 2 runs are going to score. Braves are on the board, and Matt Kemp drives home in CRT and Brandon Phillips.
Sinker running in on him, and he basically opened up to get the barrel through and found a hole just out of the reach of Ibar. Braves are on the board.
Darren Balsley's the longtime pitching coach here in San Diego. He's out to calm down Perdomo. 4 straight Braves have reached with 1 out. And Matt Adams is coming up moments after Matt Kemp was able to stir up something with a 2-run single.
Matt went after the first pitch his last time up. Let's see if he gets a little better pitch to drive here.
That's popped high and out of play left side. Steve, right 1. Phil Maton is warming up in the Padres pen, a pen that's been very, very effective of late. Markakis at second, Kemp at first. Line drive left field, that's a base hit. Markakis is going to be waved. And then he's going to slam on the brakes as Córdoba got to it quickly. Ronnie Washington gave him the green light, and then I guess Nick saw something and stopped at the last instant.
I think Nick was waiting for that sign and then made his own decision to stop as Ronnie was waiting to see it, and it's probably just as well. Nice piece of hitting here by Adams on a pitch down and away. And when you're down by 4, there's no reason to run into an out. Nick was looking at him and waiting, but I think he got the sign too late.
So the bases are loaded for Atlanta. That's the end of the line for Perdomo. He got the first out in the 6th inning, but 4 hits and a walk later, the Braves are on the board and threatening for a big inning. Matt Kemp bobblehead night presented by Northside Hospital. The first 20,000 fans at SunTrust Park walk away with the first bobblehead of Matt wearing a Braves uniform. Go to Braves.com and get your seats today.
This guy Phil Maton's got it working, folks. He was called up June 11th from El Paso, where he was 13 for 13 in saves and had a .284 ERA. But since he's been called up, he has yet to allow a run in his 8 appearances, and opponents are only 5 for 25 against him with 10 strikeouts and no walks. Phil Maton.
20th round pick out of Louisiana Tech. He was an all-conference USA starter there and then went to the bullpen after San Diego took him in the draft 2 years ago.
Fastballs and sliders. Fastball 92 to 95. My guess is our first look at him, he's going to be a sinker slider guy because of their need to get a double play ball here.
Made the jump from low A to triple A last year for the Padres, and here he is in a mess. Trying to protect a 6-2 lead with Tyler Flowers up there. And way high, 1 ball, no strikes.
Right-handers just 3 for 18 against him.
Jammed him with that pitch, and it's skied out of play. Tyler Flowers with the bases loaded is 2 for 4. The number you see on the bottom of your screen is his overall season average. He's a .267 hitter with runners in scoring position. So right guy at the right time, we hope. Flowers represents the tying run. 1-1 pitch is high. Perdomo ran out of gas in the 6th inning after 72 pitches. All the runners on base are his responsibility. Good cut, foul back. Two balls, two strikes.
So much for that sinker theory. Everything's been letter high or higher, airing it out.
Again, Tyler awaits a 2-2 pitch. And he got hit. A run will come in. It's a 6-3 game. A very painful RBI for Tyler Flowers.
I don't think that got that arm guard either. In fact, it may have gotten past his arm and hit him on the hand. Oh, right above the wrist.
Tyler Flowers now hit by a pitch 12 times this season. And Lane Adams grabs a bat. He's going to pinch hit for Kroll. All of a sudden, the Braves are down 3 with 3 on and only 1 out. And again, everything up, everything in.
Ow. Oh my.
There's a strike. I've not seen a welt pop up on Major League player's body that quickly in a long time.
I don't know if Eddie Perez was signaling to the dugout just now or not, but that's. Woo! Get some ice on that.
Big swing by Adams, didn't get it. 1-2. Camargo on deck. Atlanta with 3 in the 6th. Try to edge closer. Kemp at third, Adams at first, Flowers at second. Flowers at first, and Adams takes high. 2-2.
Hard to lay off that high fastball. They're trying to take him up the ladder.
Little broken bat. Flip to second, 1. On to first. He beat it. A run is in. The speed of Lane Adams buys the Braves another run. Flowers is forced out at second base. Lane Adams safe at first. Matt Adams at third. Kemp scores. 4 runs are in. And Johan Camargo the hitter.
Only the sprinter speed of Lane Adams prevented this from being a double play. And it was bang, bang. Look at those strides.
So Jeff Porter immediately over to attend to Tyler Flowers. And here's Camargo, the 9th man to hit in the inning. He's singled and he's bounced out. Anybody's game now. It's 6-4. And a good cut, strike 1.
That way, make him get it down.
All these runs belong to Perdomo. 1 ball, 1 strike.
His base hit tonight came with 2 strikes on him. On a hanging slider.
Adams is running, and the pitch is whistled into the seats past the Padres dugout. Foul. One ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, and that's the inning. But a productive 6th for Atlanta. They send 9 to the plate. 4 of them score. The runs belong to Perdomo. And now the Braves in striking distance. It's 6-4. Here's how we've gotten to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's game summary time. It's brought to you by Chevrolet.
A painful 6th inning. The Braves got 4 on the board and able to get back in the ball game, but Tyler Flowers' night is over after getting plunked by this pitch that ran up and in on him and hit him right above the wrist on the forearm, and that resulted in a huge, maybe broken blood vessel, I don't know, huge welt on his arm. Quite obviously, he's not going to be able to continue, and Kurt Suzuki is in there.
So with Peterson in the game, Lane Adams already pinch hitting, and Suzuki in the game, the only bench player left for Atlanta is Danny Santana. Luke Jackson is on for his 18th appearance, and he's got Margot, Myers, and Renfroe. All of a sudden, we've got a 2-run game. Braves trying to get Bartolo Colon off the hook and complete a comeback from 6-0 down after 4 innings.
Well, they are a late inning ball club, the Braves. Ian Crowe able to pitch around a couple of singles to start the 5th. Struck out the side. Now it's up to Luke Jackson.
Blow it away, ball 2. Margot's been a pest. He's reached base 3 times. He scored 3 times. 2 singles, a walk, and 2 stolen bases. And out of play, 2-2.
Luke's been on a good roll. His last 5 appearances have been scoreless.
Swing and a miss. Margot sit down. As Jackson gets him to swing and miss. Last 4 Padre outs have been strikeouts by the Braves relief corps. His perfect night is over. Here's Myers.
It's kind of a downer slider. Good pitch. Remember, he came from the Texas Rangers in an off-season trade.
Up the middle, Phillips had Myers played absolutely perfectly. Easy out. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Renfroe. Back-breaking triple in the 4th inning that plated 2 more San Diego runs. The first triple for Renfroe as a major leaguer. Well, a quick inning would be great. Get the Braves bats right back in action. They'll have Peterson, Inciarte, and Phillips coming up. And Jackson is bringing it. That one at 95 miles an hour.
Brian Snitker's done an excellent job with his bullpen in terms of keeping guys fresh. Jackson, for example, has had 3 days off. The only guy that gets taxed sometimes is Jim Johnson when the team gets on a real roll and needs him to close ball games.
And last night, Mott pitched an inning, Ramirez an inning, Johnson an inning. I think all 3 of those guys would be available. Vizcaíno ought to be available. So Jackson can pitch multiple innings if needed. And his spot on the lineup card isn't coming up for a while. But just in case, Sam Freeman's up and throwing. As the count 3-1 to Hunter Renfroe. And he got the call.
Well, it's funny how the game changes and the expectations and responsibilities change, because when you're down 6-0, it might have been a new pitcher every inning just to eat the innings up and not burn anybody up for tomorrow. Now that's changed, and the issue is hold them right there.
That's taken low, a 2-out walk. Renfroe is passed for a second time. And it will be Spangenberg, who's doubled in 3 trips and has knocked in 2 runs.
See if he's bunting again.
Wasn't. It's lined over third. Strike 1. Spangenberg was the last man Bartolo Colon faced in tonight's game, and as Joe mentioned, he tried to bunt and lined it right back to the mound. To center and playable for Ender Inciarte. Jackson a nice job in relief. A strikeout, a walk, and a harmless fly out. Jace Peterson leads off the 7th in a 2-run game. For your Atlanta Braves for the 2017 All-Stars with the Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot. Vote at Braves.com/vote. And you can catch all the excitement of the 88th MLB All-Star Game, brought to you by MasterCard, July 11th, live on Fox. 6-4 after 6. Padres led by a 6-run tally. Atlanta scored 4 last time up. And here in the 7th, Jace Peterson, Ender Inciarte, and Brandon Phillips are coming up against left-hander Ryan Buchter.
Big Ryan Buchter, 32nd game. Left-hander's only hitting a .184 against him, and 3 of the next 4 hitters for Atlanta are left-handed.
The first of them is Jace Peterson, who grounded out in his lone at bat back in the 6th.
Low to mid-90s fastball, slider, occasional curve.
I remember Ryan Buchter was briefly a Brave back in 2014. He pitched in 1 game, 1 inning, and picked up a win. It was his first win in the big leagues 3 years ago. First shot to deep left by Jace Peterson, and on the warning track, Cordova makes the play. Well struck ball by Jace, but he's retired 1 away. So here's Ender. Lefties do not bother him at all. He's hitting .352 against them. 19 hits and 54 at bats.
And a huge gap again for him. We noticed this last night between right field and center field. Big opening out there for him.
So I would think as a hitter that offers a great clue as to how you're going to be pitched.
Well, and they know their pitcher, and they know how hard what a hard time lefties have had against him, so they're assuming nobody's going to be able to pull him. We'll see.
A lot of Ender's hits go to left and center. Got one to drive to center, but he popped it up. And Ibar at short drifts out, makes the play, and Ciarte's retired, 2 away. So here's Phillips. Brandon singled and scored back in the 4-run Atlanta 6th. 9 men came to the plate last inning. And this Padre bullpen has been very good. Last 14 games, a .240 collective earned run average. And the Braves have done such great work in the 8th and 9th innings this year. This one's hit to the left side. Ibar with a backhand play. Long throw to first in time. Are going to have their hands full with the San Diego relief crew. 7th inning stretch. Padres hold a 2-run lead. T-Mobile, Oakland, Houston, and the Nationals. The next 3 opponents coming up for the Braves. And as we said, throw out the Oakland A's record. They are playing good baseball right now, and they're very tough in their home ballpark.
Very good at home. Chris Davis having a sensational year. A lot of strikeouts, but 21 homers. And for Houston, the best record in the major leagues. We know about them and how talented all their young players are. Brian McCann will be back in town next Tuesday and Wednesday. It will be great to see him. And then right before the All-Star break at Washington, Ryan Zimmerman still hot for that ball club. Daniel Murphy hit a home run again tonight. So did Rendon.
Nationals have some bullpen issues. Coda Glover has a strained rotator cuff all of a sudden. And they also signed K-Rod, who was cut loose by the Tigers the other day. K-Rod's in the minor leagues getting some work, and he may be activated in time for that series against Atlanta. So we'll see about that. We'll also see how Sam Freeman does here in the home 7th. He's got Eric Ibar to get things started, then Asuaje and Hedges. So far, 2 innings of 2-hit relief by the Braves relief corps. And now it's Freeman's turn, 3rd man out of the chute tonight. Got to hold him right there. Braves have a shot. They're down only 2 runs. And Kurt Suzuki took a shot on a long hop.
Hang in there, Kurt.
Tyler Flowers already out of the game after being hit by a pitch in the 6th inning. A nasty welt on his forearm. And Ibar was fooled. 2 balls and a strike.
Sam Freeman's done great work on the road. 6 games on the road, a 1.17 ERA. That's 3 in a row in the dirt.
Braves have issued 4 walks to San Diego tonight. 3 of them have scored.
That first batter you face, so important in an inning. He's retired 13 of 18.
Up the middle, a base hit. That's 3 hits for Ibar. And the Padres looking to add on in the 7th inning. Have Asuaje coming up, and he's 3 for 3. Braves haven't figured him out yet. Back-to-back multi-hit games for the diminutive San Diego second baseman. He can hit. They had 172 of them at AAA last season.
Not that many at bats so far against left-handers, but he already has a hit tonight. That was against Kroll. Makes him 3 for 5 against left-handers.
No balls and a strike.
Something's got to give here, though. Lefty's 7 for 37 against Freeman.
Good fastball, 97 miles an hour.
Airing it out. He had one earlier that was 95 in the dirt.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Took a shot at left field, and a fan in the front row couldn't come up with a play.
Almost.
Taken low. It's 2-2. Strike 3 at the knees. A pretty pitch. Perfect night is over for Aswahe. 1 on, 1 out. And here's Austin Hedges.
Boy, he must have been guessing breaking ball again, because that was a good fastball, had a lot of the plate, and he had a couple of good swings at it. Guessed wrong.
A ground ball at someone would be nice. Hedges, the Padres catcher, is 0 for 3. Looper over second. That's going to drop it to shallow right. Ibar read it great. He's on his way to third. They're at the corners with 1 out. Hedges with a broken bat hit.
Right off the end of the bat.
And that'll bring up Matt Caesar, who's going to pinch hit for Buchter, who worked a perfect inning in relief. Caesar had a triple on Sunday. He was in the midst of an 0 for 15 slide at the plate. Got a pinch hit homer this year. Can't give him any more. Let's see if the former Cub can oblige and go down quietly and end the inning.
He was out of options, and I know there were a lot of teams, including the Braves, looking to see what the Cubs were going to do with him. They kept him on the roster to open the season, and then when they tried to then send him back to AAA after the season started, Padres were able to claim him.
He was in Cape May, New Jersey, went to Villanova.
Pretty good football player, too.
Terrific football player, as a wide receiver. But that's not the biggest highlight of Matt Caesar's life. Donated peripheral blood cells to a young leukemia patient who had a 1 in 80,000 chance of finding a match in 2010. He missed 10 games because of the medication taken in advance of the blood platelet donation. And the young leukemia patient is someone he never met. She was a little girl in Russia.
How impressive is that?
And the operation did indeed save her life, and Matt Caesar got to meet her through the wonders of the World Wide Web. Three balls and a strike, 1st and 3rd. Pitch. Ball 4, they're loaded. Not what the Braves had in mind here. And now Kurt Suzuki out to try to settle down Freeman, who's had trouble with his command. Deep counts, and now a bases loaded situation for Córdoba. Three homers, 9 RBIs for Córdoba. He had a left hand problem Saturday. He got hit by a pitch. Can't afford one of those here. The Braves are down 2 runs, and the Padres threatening to add on. Outside corner, a strike.
He hit into one double play.
And the Padres with 4 Rule 5 players on their roster. Cordova's one of them. 1-1 pitch is popped over the Padres on deck circle, and a fan from Coronado, California comes up with a souvenir. Cordova was signed by the Cardinals in 2013 for $7,500 out of Panama.
See if they can get him to chase a bad pitch here. Kirk fortunate to glove that. He kind of pancaked it on the ground and couldn't get Cordova to chase that slider down low. Whoa.
Two balls, 2 strikes. High hopper. Flip to second, 1, and no chance for Phillips as the hard-charging Matt Caesar came barreling in at second base. Brandon Phillips is asking for the second base umpire to see if he came too far off the bag. The Braves might take a cursory look at this just to see, but San Diego gets a run on a ground out.
Playing back for the double play. Caesar did take one in the head, getting kicked in the head, and we couldn't see the tail end of that replay, but the Braves are going to challenge it to see if there's reason for obstruction. At first blush, it looks like he slid right over the top of the bag. Whether or not he slid off the bag, I'm not sure.
So as it stands now, San Diego gets a run as Ibar scores on the force play at second. The Padres will have runners at first and third, 2 outs unless the Braves win this challenge. Don't really know if there's anything differently that Camargo could have done except maybe come home on that play.
He did go off the bag.
The question
right
is,
there on that angle,
is that a result of the contact with Brandon Phillips, and does that matter?
it does matter if you slide beyond the bag. He's out. Oh, I'm sorry. Thought he was going to call the double play. They didn't.
Right. So the force play in effect at second. The Braves lose the challenge. The Padres get a run. 2 outs, and Margot's coming up. So the Padres cash in the leadoff hit by Ibar. It's now a 7-4 game. Two hits, 3 runs for Margot tonight. Driven to right and playable for Nick Markakis, who backs up a couple of steps and makes the play. 1 run, 2 hits, 7-4 San Diego the lead. Nick Markakis will lead off the 8th, but first it's time for the big story. Here's Kelsey. Everybody's excited about the impending return of Freddie Freeman. Hopefully we'll have a fantastic finish as we go to the 8th inning. Game summary time. It's brought to you by Infiniti. Atlanta got 4 in the 6th to make it a ball game tonight.
Yeah, and 2 of them came home on a Matt Kemp base hit against his old ball club. The return of Bartolo Colon did not go as he had hoped. 6 earned runs in only 4 innings, 3 walks mixed in there too. Ibar and Asuaje have had good nights for the Padres. And now a tough customer on there in the 8th in Brad Hand. There's a lot of speculation about where he's going to pitch in the second half of the season because he's been so good in a setup role.
Braves don't know him well. They saw him a lot with Miami.
Fastball, curveball, slider, former starter. Real low batting average against him.
Nick Markakis looks for his first hit against this guy. When you see Nick go 0 for 9 against somebody, you know that pitcher's really good. And it's 0 for 9 with 5 strikeouts. So Nick's got a fight on his hands here in the Atlanta 8th. He's quickly down 0-2. Good eye. Nick's walked twice tonight and scored a run.
Hard to lay off. This guy throws hard, 92 to 95, so you've got to respect that. And then he throws that slider, and it's tough to lay off.
Line drive to right, but right at Renfroe, who almost misplayed it.
Oh, that one found another gear, didn't it? Renfroe trying to play it cool, but he almost turned that into a double or a triple.
Matt Kemp's first hit of the series brought home 2 runs, as Joe mentioned. That was in the 6th. Up the middle. Asuaje in the shift makes the play behind the second base bag. 2 outs.
Well, Matt's hitting everything up the middle, isn't he?
Sure has. And now another left-hand hitter, Matt Adams, who singled in the 6th. What a weapon Hand is. He works a lot. He's made more appearances in relief than any other pitcher in our league since the start of 2016. This is number 163 for him.
And he's 3rd in the National League in strikeouts among relievers, 51.
So I wonder what the Padres will do. You mentioned maybe a different role for him. For a team that's trying to rebuild, how much of a return would a guy like Brad Hand bring if they decided to move him? Have to wait and see. No balls hit a strike. Padres have a very impressive record. They have won 104 straight games when they've had the lead in the 9th. The way this is looking now, the Braves will try to snap that.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
104-0.
That's pulled toward Myers at first. He'll take it to the bag, and Hand has an easy 1-2-3 top of the 8th inning. 7-4. San Diego leads it late.
is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Delta Airlines.
Beautiful downtown San Diego. Not a beautiful score tonight. Padres lead 7-4. They led 6-0 after 4 innings. Braves got 4 in the 6th to make a game of it. Padres got a run back in the 7th. Jason Motta's on to pitch the 8th, and he's got to hold him right there and hope Atlanta can rally in the 9th.
He pitched last night and looked real sharp. Worked an inning, no hits or walks, struck out 2. And again, as is the law in San Diego, he must face Will Myers.
Takes a strike. 2 runs for Myers tonight. An infield hit and an RBI. That came in the 3rd off Cologne. First start for Bartolo since June 5th. Last 9 starts, a 10.38 ERA. Got the corner. 1-2. Way outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Strike 3, and Myers knew it. So Mott continues his excellent work in this series. Gets the leadoff man, 1 away in the 8th.
Front door cutter.
Official attendance tonight, 19,312. Renfroe with a triple. That highlights his night. He's also walked twice and scored once. Adams will give chase, but won't have a chance. That's in the seats foul. Biggest decision of this game was Andy Green in the 6th inning. Perdomo got the first out. Then 4 straight, make it 5 straight Braves reached. 4 singles and a walk. And Perdomo clearly was running out of gas, so the Braves were on to something. And after only 72 pitches, he took him out. Brought on Maton, who was okay. Gave up a hit batsman and a ground ball that brought in 2 runs.
He got out of it.
Got out of it. It wasn't all that crisp. But after the strikeout to end the 6th, the rest of the Padres pen, Buchter and Hand, have been brilliant. 6 up, 6 down. Swing and a miss. Hunter Renfroe is down on strikes. 2 up, 2 down.
That is a pitch that may keep Renfroe from reaching his full potential. I really think the guy is really going to be good. You know, maybe even a 30 home run type guy. But if he'll continue to chase that pitch, and big league pitchers can go up there and get away with it because they throw so hard, it'll be tough for him to realize that potential.
Is it true that the ball looks like it's the size of the moon when it's up there?
Oh, it's big, yeah.
And so you
just see it clearly coming out of his hand. It's at eye level, you know, literally.
And by the time you swing, it's by you, right?
Yeah, you can't go up to it.
So the Braves found that hole on Renfroe tonight. Here's Spangenberg. He golfed a double down the left field line against Cologne in the first inning. Wasn't a bad pitch, but he had it slicing away from Matt Kemp, and with 2 outs, Margot and Renfroe scored, and San Diego was off and running. 2 in the first, third, and fourth.
It's kind of a sign of things to come.
Two balls and a strike. Looking ahead to the ninth, Kurt Suzuki. And I'm guessing Danny Santana, who's the last man available to pinch hit for the Braves. And then Johan Camargo. Yates and Maurer are loosening in the Padres pen. We'll see how Andy Green plays it. The 2-2 is not a play foul. Hope Tyler Flowers is all right too. He got hit by that pitch from Maton. That forearm swelled noticeably. Hope that's not something that'll keep him out of the lineup.
Glove work for Mott, but now he's ready to go.
Two. Little tapper hit toward Phillips. Brandon's got it. And Mott has another clean inning for Atlanta. Very impressive work. Well, let's see if Atlanta can snap the Padres' impressive 9th inning streak. We'll find out next.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Let's go places. And SunTrust.
Game show after the Braves take on the Diamondbacks Sunday, July 16th, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Don't forget to buy your field passes for $20. Get your tickets today at Braves.com/need to breathe. This is Brandon Maurer, former Seattle Mariner, now current Padres reliever. 14 saves this year. He had 13 last year.
And he's had 9 since Memorial Day weekend. So he's really come on. 14 out of 16 for the year.
And he's going to face Kurt Suzuki leading things off. Brad Hainsey's the Braves PR man on the trip. Tyler Flowers left the game with a left forearm contusion. He's day-to-day. There were no x-rays taken. So a nasty welt on his forearm. And that's why Kurt Suzuki's in the game. He came in after the Braves batted in the 6th. Danny Santana is on deck. He's the last extra player left for Atlanta tonight. And a bouncing ball toward Ibar at short. Got the in-between hop, made the play, and Kurtz retired one away.
This 104 games straight without losing when they take the lead into the ninth is pretty amazing. If it was still Trevor Hoffman closing games, I'd understand, but they've had kind of a revolving door for the last couple of years on who's going to close. This guy's been there before with Seattle, throws hard, upper 90s, good slider.
He's out of Orange Lutheran High School, is Brandon Maurer, high school teammate of Garrett Cole. How did Orange Lutheran ever lose a game? Those two guys were pitching.
Some gas, I would guarantee you.
Yeah. So here's Santana. Got out of play. Was there a more intimidating, impressive relief pitcher entry than Trevor Hoffman when they played Hell's Bells in this park and the old one at Qualcomm Stadium?
No.
I mean, the place just rocked. Down the line, and what a catch! What a grab! Yeah, you better fist bump on that. That was a missile.
Nicely done. Yeah, I don't want to say he was the guy that kind of created the walk-in music for the bullpen, but he set the tone for it.
It really was cool. Even when Hoffman was coming on, as Santana's down on strikes, when you're coming on to close out your team, it was quite a scene. And now here at Petco, they ring the mission bell with every out recorded by their closer in the ninth inning. And the Padres ready to celebrate a 7-4 victory with one man standing in the way, and that's Johan Camargo.
Maurer got Santana with a changeup from 97 down to 88. And another funny swing. That same changeup.
Maurer never really got on track in Seattle with the Mariners. The Padres acquired him for Seth Smith after the 2014 year. And now the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. And now the Braves are down to their last strike. The 1-2 pitch is caught on and missed. That's your ball game. San Diego evens the series. 7-4 your final. Big story tonight, Bartolo Colon back in rotation. It did not go well for the Braves right-hander as he suffers his 8th loss. And quite honestly, Joe, I think his future in rotation or perhaps on this pitching staff has to be seriously in doubt.
Well, we don't know. You know, we'll find out what they're thinking after the game and which way they're going to go with Bart going forward. We'll wait to see.
More on that and tonight's game on Braves Live, presented by Xfinity, next.